Hey everybody, when you're on track, one of the most important things that you need to pay attention to are the flags that are waved from the corner stations. These flags are going to let you know what you need to know about what is ahead of you on track. Today we're going to go over those flags, what they mean, and what you should do when you see them. We're going to start off with the fun flag. It's the green flag. Of course, it means go. Usually it's only going to be waved from the start-finish line, although some races and some events may have what's called a green that you show after another flag. We can talk about that a little bit later, but first flag, easy, green means go. So the next flag we're going to talk about is a little more serious, and it is the yellow flag. And there are actually a few different ways the yellow flag is shown, but let's talk about what it is in general. In general, the yellow flag, when you see it, means there is something happened on track that you need to be aware of, that you need to slow down for, and that you need to make sure you don't become a part of. Some of these yellows are local yellows, meaning they only take place at one part of the track, one corner, maybe one set of corners in between two flag stations. The other part is what we call a full course yellow. Well, the first one is a standing yellow. Standing yellow will be held stationary. The worker will be holding it out, still not waving it. This means that there's something ahead that is not on the track surface, but you still need to know about it. So maybe a car has pulled off onto the grass, maybe a car has spun and is waiting to pull back out, but that danger will be off of the track. The next way you will see a yellow is a waving yellow. And what this means is the danger ahead is actually blocking the track surface. If it's a slow, lazy wave, maybe only a corner of the car is on track. If the flag is being waved very vigorously, then you may be looking at a car spinning on track, you may be looking at a car that has crashed and is stopped. It could even be upside down, but it is definitely more serious than a slow wave and way more serious than a standing yellow. The third way you will see a yellow is a double yellow. This yellow flag is shown with two flags side by side. The corner workers will hold them up, and this means that the entire track is yellow, not just the corner where you see either a single or waving yellow. If you're in a road race, typically this means the pace car is going to come out. If the pace car doesn't come out and you're the leader, slow down to pace car speed. If you're not the leader, work on catching up to the pace car, make a big gap on track so those emergency services workers can get the incident cleaned up and get you back to green as fast as possible. The next flag we're going to talk about is the blue flag. The blue flag might be a solid blue flag. More often than not here in the United States, it's going to be a blue flag with a yellow or orange diagonal stripe. Whatever it looks like, we're going to call it the blue flag. They used to call it an information flag, and the information is you're being caught by a faster car. These days there are a couple of ways it can be shown. Holding still means, hey, that car's catching you and it's probably going to pass you or want to point by if you're at a track day pretty soon. And if it's waved, that means that car is definitely about to go by you right now. And if it's a track day and you see that waving blue flag, you're definitely going to want to give a point by and let your on-track teammate by. The next flag up is what we call the surface flag, or really what everybody calls it is the debris flag. It's a yellow flag with 2 or 3 red stripes, depending on which track you're at. And what this means is there's something on the surface that's not as big as the car that you need to worry about. Could be maybe somebody blew a motor and put a bunch of oil down. Could be that somebody lost a part. Maybe there's an exhaust hanging, that fell off and ended up being dropped in the track. Maybe somebody spun and pulled a bunch of dirt or mud back on the track. Whatever it is, it's small. You need to pay attention to it. You might even need to avoid it, but it's not quite as serious as a yellow flag. You can still pass here, you can still give point bys here, but you definitely want to have your eyes up, see what that object is, and then avoid it when necessary. Another flag you're going to see is the white flag. If you're used to watching races on TV and seeing the pro races, when you see this flag waved from the start stand, that does mean last lap. That's only during a race. Most of the time, when you see a white flag out on course, it's going to be held stationary and from any of the corner stations. And what this means is there's a slow car ahead that you need to be aware of. It might be an ambulance or a fire truck or a tow truck on their way to an incident, or it might be somebody on track that's having a problem, a flat tire, stuck in second gear. When you get to this car, you're certainly allowed to pass them, but you want to do it under control and safely. Next up, black flags. There are a few different ways black flags are shown, so you definitely want to consider each one of these as they're all very important. The first way we're going to see a black flag is what we call the racetrack shaken finger. The flag will be furled up, meaning it's around the pole and not open, and it's shaken at you as kind of a, hey, stop doing what you're doing. What you're doing, we don't know, but you should probably think about it. The next way this black flag is shown is an open black flag at the start finish or one of a designated corner on track that you'll learn about when you read supplemental regulations. This flag will be open and it will be shown with a number board. And if it's your number, that means we want to see you in the pits, come talk to the black flag steward or one of the officials, a driver coach on pit road. The next way is that open black flag, but instead of 2 stations with a number board, it'll be black flag everywhere. And that means we want to see everybody on pit road. Typically this means there's something that needs to be cleaned up. We need to get everybody in so that we can do that. Furled black, just a warning. Open black with a number, we want to see you. Black flags everywhere, we want to see everybody on pit road. The next kind of black flag you see is just for mechanical, and that'll be a black flag with an orange dot, kind of call it a meatball. This means something's going on with your car and we want to see you on pit road. It'll also be shown with a number board. Of course, anytime you do see a black flag, you're going to want to give a wave to those corner stations. Let them and the other officials know that you did see that black flag. The most serious flag we're going to talk about is the red flag. What the red flag means is there is an incident on course that the driver needs attention as soon as possible. So what do you do when that red flag comes up? You're going to want to bring your car to a safe, controlled stop. First thing you do, check your mirrors. Make sure there's not a car that's about to hit you in the back. If you do jump on the brakes, signal, hey, I'm stopping. Then a smooth, controlled stop to the side of the racetrack. Which side, left or right? That doesn't matter as long as there's a lane clear so the ambulances and emergency services can get to the driver that needs attention. Once you have stopped, you're going to want to keep an eye on those corner stations. Watch for the next flag signal. Usually that's a black flag, and as we know, black flag everywhere means go ahead to the pits. And of course, we've saved the best flag for last, the checkered flag. Officially, this means the race or the session is done and it's time to go to the pits. Unofficially, it means if you and your car are in one piece, and no matter where you might have finished, you won. Once you see that checkered flag, you'll come on into the pits and get ready to celebrate and give some high fives. So now, when you're on track and you see a flag being waved from a corner station like this, you know what it means and what to do. Of course, there are some differences at different tracks and different events, so you'll want to make sure to read the event supplementary regulations and your series rules to see any minor changes in how these flags are done. But now that you know, you're ready to go on track.